A Product Liability Guide for Products that Cause Injuries. Chapter 1. Product Liability for Products that Cause Injuries. Product Liability Info. The possibility of personal injury caused by a defective product is a matter of product liability law. It has been making inroads into standards of liability regarding vendors, distributors, and manufacturers of defective products. The spirit of product liability law is negligence and liability. In recent years, manufacturers have been encouraged to warn consumers of the potential dangers of a product, which is why you sometimes see ridiculous-looking warning labels on some products. It's there not necessarily to warn the consumer but to protect the manufacturer in case of a personal injury lawsuit. Most claims in a product's liability action are based on the contention that the manufacturer failed in its duty to warn consumers of a potential defect in the design or manufacture of the product in some way. So if a manufacturer knows that something in one of his products is defective but does nothing about it to warn consumers, that's a legal violation of product liability law. When you put any product up for sale on the market, there are several legal considerations you are responsible for, namely: does the product do what it purports to do? Is the normal, intended use of the product safe for all consumers including children? Regardless of if you are the manufacturer or retailer, there is potential product liability for you. Minimize risk by testing your product with outside agencies such that you have documentation that you had it tested and it's safe. Put any hazards or possible dangers clearly both on the package, in the instructions and on the product itself if you can. Instill quality control methods to make every widget as identical to every other as much as possible. Legally speaking, the manufacturer is the one in the business chain most likely to be charged for product liability violations. In general, the sellers/retailers are not responsible for a product's safety as long as several conditions are met, such as they are not the creators, designers, or maker of the product. They did not know there was something wrong with the product. The problem was not obvious, something that couldn't be readily detected with just a look. They were not negligent. They used common sense in looking the product over to offer it for sale. The product was still in the original package from the manufacturer when sold. The seller did not do any assembly nor offered any advice about the product. Make sure that you know what safety laws are associated with your product and ensure that your product complies with them before you start selling. Don't underestimate a disclaimer on the label or packaging. Companies put all those seemingly inane disclaimers on their products to protect themselves legally in these litigious times. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, 800-638-2772, cpsc.gov, oversees the Consumer Product Safety Act, which protects the public against unreasonable risks of injury associated with consumer products. The CPSC oversees virtually all consumer products and children's toys. Be careful about the materials that you use in your products and make sure they meet all the guidelines required for safety. Go to cpsc.gov to check on the standards. The Flammable Fabrics Act, regulated by the CPSC, pertains to wearing apparel, bedding, and any other products that could catch fire easily through ordinary use. cpsc.gov/busy-nfo/8004. The Federal Hazardous Substances Act deals with products that are toxic or corrosive, that are irritants or that are strong sensitizers, like lye. If you use these products in the production of your products or in them, check to make sure that you are in compliance with regulations and laws. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, fda.gov, regularly makes random lead tests of food container products, so if your business is food containers, go easy on the lead content. The standard is less than 0.5 parts per million. The Federal Fair Packaging and Labeling Act requires that a label identify most products which show the name of the manufacturer or distributor and the net quantity of the contents. You can get a copy of this law from the Federal Trade Commission, Washington, D.C. 20580ftc.gov. The Content Labeling Law is part of the Textile Fiber Productions Identification Act, which is monitored by the Federal Trade Commission. The Care Labeling Law, also part of the Textile Fiber Productions Identification Act, covers how to care for products. There's also the Care Labeling Rule, 16 CFR. Part 423. Go to ftc.gov/os/2000/07/ca relabeling-rule.html. The Wool Products Labeling Act of 1939 requires an additional label on wool or textile products to state when imported fibers are used. There are also state bedding and upholstered furniture laws and state labeling laws that affect products that have concealed fillings such as stuffed toys, pillows, etc. Contact your state offices to find out about standards and rules regarding anything you might be producing. Usually, only manufacturers buy product liability insurance. Product liability insurance could be included in a comprehensive general liability business insurance policy, or you could buy a separate policy for it. Insurance policies get very complicated. State exactly what you want and look your policy over with a fine-tooth comb for exclusions, deductions, limits, and nullifying conditions. Have your lawyer look at it. A good manufacturing company will give their sellers/retailers a clause in their contract called a vendor's endorsement, where they will state that they take full responsibility for all claims against the product, and if you are charged with product liability for selling the product, they will indemnify you, that is, agree to pay all legal bills you might incur fighting a product liability lawsuit. Disclaimers might warn customers about the possible dangers of a product, but they have 3 features that could backfire. Firstly, if the potential customer sees a big disclaimer on the packaging of some product, he or she might think twice and not buy, thinking there is something inherently wrong with the structure of the product. Secondly, disclaimer laws often don't apply in cases with children's products because it is assumed that they are not of sound, mature mind, therefore can't understand them anyway. Thirdly, you legally can't use a disclaimer as a defense against what is obviously a defective, safety hazard product. You can't just build a bike with poor brakes then sell it with a big sign on it saying "Watch out for the brakes." The product is shoddy. You are negligent. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that is to ride safely. Product liability law differs among jurisdictions. It's not written in stone. Judges make decisions which set precedents. To avoid problems, see a lawyer about it when you start your business. If someone gets injured with a product, they will generally sue everyone and let the courts hash it out, so even if you're the retailer and not the maker, there is a chance that you could get sued for product liability, even though technically speaking, you're not really guilty, but you will have to do the song and dance in court until you are found not guilty, just the innocent seller of what you thought was a good product manufactured by somebody else. In breach of product lawsuits, the plaintiff must generally prove the following points. The business owed the claimant a duty of care. The duty and/or standard of care required was breached. Measurable financial damages resulted from the breach. There was a direct causal connection between the breach of contract and the damages that occurred. The question is, did you take reasonable care in designing, producing, and/or marketing the product? If you're the business being sued, the plaintiff will go into your background research, development, and testing of the product and ask if you've covered all the industry standards and possible testing circumstances. They will ask about quality control standards and whether the managers knew about the risks before they sent it out on the market. What information and warnings did the manufacturer provide about the product? How obvious are the hazards of the product? When you buy a skateboard, you should intuitively know that if you go fast on it down the street you could get hit by a car. Some kid's father sued a skateboard manufacturer for his son's accident and lost for this reason. If you buy a car that tips easily if you take a corner at what is not considered excessively fast but a brisk speed, you're not expected to know this, so it's not your fault. What about preventive measures like wearing a helmet? How severe are the damages? The 2 types of damages a civil court awards are compensatory damages, to pay you back for what you lost as a result of the breach of contract. Punitive damages, to punish you. It's usually dependent on your conscious bad intentions to make money at the exclusion of everything else versus an honest mistake. I've seen a business legal book describing product liability and it was very specific, tedious, and boring. Get a lawyer or a specialist consultant to protect you by telling you what to do before the product goes to market, and buy some product liability insurance with him going through the policy before you sign for it. In the end, don't feel petty about using disclaimers. I've seen a disclaimer on a skateboard stating that you could get injured if you ride on it too fast, around the streets where there's traffic, and if you don't wear a safety helmet. This is all generic common sense, but there was a fool who filed a lawsuit against a skateboard company because their foolish son went out, did crazy things on his skateboard until he got in an accident. Lucky for sensible people, the skateboard company won, but it was still a headache for them. If you put a disclaimer on your product labeling that reads like it's geared for a 5-year-old, then you're protecting yourself legally. I saw a really stupid one on an invention show. Some kid came out with his supposed invention, a seat near the handlebars of a bike where another passenger could sit while the guy rode the bike. The second I saw it, I knew no company would ever manufacture it because it's a lawsuit waiting to happen, but the judges, who were 3 supposed invention experts, actually voted for the kid to continue on in the competition. Product liability websites. business.com/guides/product-safety-requirements-for-small-business-433, product safety requirements for small business, how-to guides. fda.gov/comments, rules on the way some foods and drugs are sold. ftc.gov/os/statutes/textile, Federal Fair Packaging and Labeling Act. ftc.gov/bcp/conlani/pubs/buspubs. ftc.gov/os/statutes/textile/furact.htm, Fur Product Labeling Act. ftc.gov/bcp/conline/pubs/buspubs/wedgone.htm, Wedding Gown Labels. ftc.gov/bcp/conlani/pubs/buspubs/cotton.htm, Labeling and Advertising Cotton Products. ftc.goflowb/v980034.htm, U.S. Customs Service for Textile Country of Origin Marking. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/product_liability_directive. expertlaw.com/library/product_liability. Product liability lawyers. Do a search engine search of product liability, and most results you get are for product liability lawyers, so you know they're out there looking to make money by exploiting any safety hazard they spot in any product. 123lawyersch.com/product-liability-lawyers.html. Product safety testing info. There are some safety standards for some products, particularly electrical ones. Product safety testers test new products to see that they won't harm people or animals in order to help the company avoid legal product liability charges. If professional product safety testers pass or approve a product as safe, it gives that product some legal protection if and when people get injured by it. The biggest independent safety testers are consumerreports.org, ul.com, and ghsavings.com, Good Housekeeping Magazine. cpsc.gov, nist.gov, and osha.gov are the big government safety standards websites. cpsc.gov/cpscpub/pub/325.pdf, CPSC Handbook. epa.gov/opt/pfoa/pubs/eca.html. asdm.org. ASDM develops technical standards for industry worldwide. blogs.consumerreports.org/safety. Chapter 2. Product Safety Information. Product Safety and Recalls. Knowing how to use products correctly, reading instructions, and being alert to hazards will help to ensure a safe environment around you. You also should pay attention to product recalls in the news and consumer magazines. Several federal government agencies provide recall information on a variety of products, including toys, cars, child safety seats, food, and health and beauty aids. Read about major appliances, tools, and other items before you buy. There are several consumer magazines at the library which give detailed information on the prices, features, and safety of various products. consumerreports.org. Learn to use power tools and electrical appliances safely. If you don't know what a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, is, find out. Read the instructions carefully before using the equipment. Don't use things for purposes the manufacturer never intended. Tools aren't kids' toys. If you spot a product defect, design flaw, allergic reaction, or hidden hazard, contact the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission or your state or local consumer protection agency. Read product labels. Some products can turn into deadly poisons when mixed with other products, stored improperly or used in poorly vented areas. Contact the Auto Safety Hotline at 800-424-9393 to report safety problems and to obtain recall and safety information on new and used cars, trucks, motorcycles, motor homes, child seats and other motor vehicle equipment. Recalls.gov. business.com/guides/product-safety-for-small-business-433, product safety requirements for small business, how-to guides. jcpenney.net/product recalls. product-liability-attworneys.com. toyhazardrecalls.com. recall-warnings.com. recalledproduct.com. consumerjusticegroup.com. fda.gov/safety/recalls/default.htm. usrecallnews.com. recallannouncements.com. ul.com, Underwriter Labs list of approved products. Auto Safety Hotline. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Department of Transportation. Washington, D.C. 20590. 202-366-0123. 202-366-7800, TDD. 800-424-9393, toll-free outside D.C. 800-424-9153, toll-free TDD outside D.C. Vehicles, child safety seats and other motor vehicle equipment. NHTSA.gov. Consumer Product Safety Guide. 4025 West Peterson Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60646. 800-224-8299. 800-492-8104. Free booklets. Product Safety Hotline. U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Washington, D.C. 20207. 800-638-CPSC, toll-free. 800-492-8104, toll-free TDD in MD. 800-638-8270, toll-free TDD outside of MD. Fax, 301-504-0051. cpsc.gov. Free booklets. U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Recall and Emergency Coordinator. FDA.gov. Refer to the white pages of your local telephone book for your regional FDA office. Food, drugs, medical devices, such radiological products as microwave ovens, televisions, and sun lamps. Product safety websites. cpsc.gov, 800-638-2772, Product Safety Commission, Product Recalls. toy-tma.com, 800-851-9955, Toy Safety. ul.com, 847-272-8800, Underwriters Laboratories, information on products with the UL approved stamp on them. accessmylibrary.com/article-1G1-13284191-/product-safety-website-dow.html. allergyconsumerreview.com, air purifiers, humidifiers, etc. bakerlaw.com/bna-product-safety-liability-reporter-pht hallets-for-toys-and-child-care-products-2009. bhsi.org/links.hdm, Bicycle Helmet Safety Institute links page. business.com/guides/product-safety-for-small-business-433, product safety requirements for small business, how-to guides. Connections.org/cx-library/cx heading 11918.htm, product safety. consumersunion.org/pub/core_product_safety/00562.html, children's product safety needs improvement. cpsc.gov, Consumer Product Safety Commission. cpsc.gov/cpscpub/prearl/prearl.html, cpsc recall announcements and product safety alerts. darling2.com/productsafety.aspx. demandbase.com/directory/product_safety_resources_inc-business-contacts. dow.com/productsafety, product safety. dow.com/productsafety/industry/enviro.htm, environment, health, and safety. gallagherlaw.com/cm/safety/finding-safe-products.asp. globaltooling.biz-hosting.com/resources/instructions-products.html, product instructions, operation and safety, resources. greenhomeguide.com, list of green products. hazard.com, Vermont Siri website. healthybuilding.net. highsafety.com/hsl/resources/services/audits-inspections/prod safety review.html, high safety consulting product safety review. householdproducts.nlm.nih.gov/recalls.htm, product recalls, household products database. intertech.com, product safety and training. justice.org/pressroom/facts/products/index.aspx. kaplanco.com/about/productsafety.asp. main.gov/beh/safety/generals/hand_safety.htm, hand tool safety. motorola.com/test-services/product-safety-testing.html, Motorola product testing services, product safety. nps.org/safety, product safety. oag.state.tx.us/consumer/product_safety.shtml, Texas Attorney General. parrotherm.com/safety.asp. pg.com, product safety. physique.com/company/r_commitment/product_safety.shtml. ppai.org/productsafety. product-safety.com, Engineering Services Corporation. productsafetyattorneys.com. Product Safety Attorneys, Product Safety Attorneys. productsafetyattorneys.com/helpful-resources. productsafetyattorneys.com/helpful-resources/product-safety-articles. productsafetyattorneys.com/index.php/psa/helpful-resources/product-safety-news/product-safety-newsletter-sign-up. productsafetylaw.net. productsafetyletter.com, Product Safety Letter. productsafetysolutions.com. prosarcorp.com, Prosar, Product Safety. quantico.usmc.mil/display.aspx $safety. recalls.gov. recalls.gov/cpsc.html, consumer product recall information. resources.bnet.com/topic/product safety.html, product safety resources, net. resources.bnet.com/topic/product+safety.html, product safety resources, net. reala.org/supply/product safety. safer-products.org. safetyforum.com, Safety Forum, product safety news and resources. safetyforum.com/resources, consumer and legal resources. Safetylink.com, comprehensive collection of electrical product safety and standards resources. smpl.org/websource/consumer/product-safety.htm, Santa Monica Public Library, Web Resources, Product Safety. trantolo.net/resources-product-safety.php. ul.com, Product Standards, Underwriters Lab. National Safety Council. 1121 Spring Lake Drive, Itasca, Illinois 60143-3201. 800-621-7619. 800-621-6244. 630-285-1121. Fax, 630-285-1315. nsc.org.